Chris Cornell, Soundgarden and Audioslave frontman, dies at 52. Chris Cornell, the powerful, dynamic singer whose band Soundgarden was one of the architects of grunge music, died on Wednesday night in Detroit hours after the band had performed there. He was 52. The death was a suicide by hanging, the Wayne County Medical Examiner's Office said in a statement released on Thursday afternoon. It said a full autopsy had not yet been completed. Mr. Cornell's representative, Brian Bumbery, said in a statement that the death was sudden and unexpected. Soundgarden played at the Fox Theater in Detroit on Wednesday night, and had been scheduled to perform in Columbus, Ohio, on Friday at the Rock on the Range Festival. Dontae Freeman, a spokesman for the Detroit Police Department, said in an interview that officers went to the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino around midnight in response to a call about an apparent suicide of a white man, whom he did not identify. Mr. Freeman said the man's date of birth was July 20, 1964, which is Mr. Cornell's. He added that the man's wife had called a family friend to check on the man. The friend forced his way into the man's room at the casino and found him unresponsive on the bathroom floor with a band around his neck. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Mr. Cornell appeared to be active on social media in the hours before his death. A post on his Twitter account announced that the group had arrived in Detroit, and a clip of the group's 2012 release by Crooked Steps was posted to his official Facebook page. Mr. Cornell acknowledged in interviews that he had struggled with drug use throughout his life. In a 1994 Rolling Stone article, he described himself as a daily drug user at 13 who had quit by the time he turned 14. After Soundgarden disbanded in 1997, a breakup that would last for more than a decade, Mr. Cornell returned to heavy drug use, telling The Guardian in 2009 that he was a pioneer in the abuse of the opiate OxyContin and that he had gone to rehab. Soundgarden's musical journeys tended toward the naughty and dark, plunging into off-kilter meters and punctuated by Mr. Cornell's voice, which could quickly shift from a soulful howl to a gritty growl. On stage, Mr. Cornell was an imposing figure, flinging his long hair as he presided over mosh pits of fans churning to the band's metal-tinged riffs. Mr. Cornell was one of four prominent frontmen along with Kurt Cobain of Nirvana, Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam and Lane Staley of Alice in Chains, who brought Seattle's sound to the national stage in the late 1980s and 1990s. He helped form Soundgarden in Seattle, where he was born, around 1984. Sub Pop, then a fledgling record label, released the group's first single, Hunted Down, in 1987, as well as two subsequent EPs. The group's debut album, Ultra Mega OK, which came a year later on the punk label SST, was its last release before it made the leap to a major label. What video? www.youtube.com web link. www.youtube.com web link. Source: www.newyorktimes.com.